How you doing today? Dan, All Dimensions LLC here in Johnson City, Tennessee. Today we're working on a 2011 Nissan Juke. Did a water pump and tensioner pulley and belt. I looked online there just to see if people were having trouble with this, and it turns out it definitely is a problem for most people. So I decided to make a quick video to kind of show the barbaric way of getting into there without doing something sinister like dropping the engine down or, well, yeah. So, cut right to the chase with this thing. First and foremost, excuse the lighting. Alright, I'm going to flip this around here and I'm going to attempt to show you this. Okay, let me see if I could find a camera angle that works. See that hole there? Okay. Now, I'll have to check to see if that actually showed up on the image, but the way to do it is to drill a hole. Punch a hole, make a hole, any type of way that you can possibly make a hole. But you got to get through that in order to get access to the bolt for the tensioner pulley. Once you are actually into the tensioner pulley area and you can directly see the bolt, make sure the hole is large enough for the bolt to slide straight out and back through. If you do not, you will not be removing it. It is too tight. The bolt will actually come out and hit the metal, and you won't be removing the tensioner. Okay, so I find it's even once you do that, unless you can make a very large hole, you're still going to have difficulty getting a Torx bit into there. So you want a T50, and all I did was cut a T50, welded it to a 3/8 3-inch long extension. Let me see if I can step away from the lighting there so you can see this a little better. It's terrible but quick. And this way this thing can get right into that hole and you can actually loosen it up. Once you get it loosened up, I just put a magnet in there and pulled it right out. Or you can get a flathead screwdriver in there behind the head of it, pry it a little bit, and that'll get it through the hole as well, or, you know, if the magnet won't pull it loose. Other than that, the tensioner will drop directly down through here. Okay. It's tight, but it goes right through. Alright. That's the way to remove the tensioner. If, in fact, you are also attempting to do a water pump. Water pump is able to be done without the removal of anything else, though it's extremely tight up on the top. So the water pump, and like I say, I'm going to attempt to show you this and I'm trying to make my videos quick because no one wants to sit here for half an hour watching some guy ramble. So let me see if I can find a way to camera angle this. Okay. Ow. I don't know if you can see that water pump there. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. All the bottom bolts going around, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the old one so you can see kind of how it goes in there. Okay. So here's the old one. All right. Now, when it's sitting in there just like this. Okay. Oh, hang on. Let me correct that. There we go. It's sitting in there just like that. These bottom two bolts right here. All right. This one back, or this one in the further back side, or towards the front of the vehicle, is hard to get to. This bolt right here, also towards the front of the vehicle, has to be gotten from the top. If you can squeeze your arm down in there, what I did is I loosened the bracket for the AC line and gave it enough room, like a ½ an inch. And I mean, it's tight. Roll up your sleeves, take off your watch, and bleed a little bit. But you can actually get down in there, 1/4 inch drive, and get it loose. It is really, really tight, but you can squeeze down past the alternator. If you can't fit your arm in, then you got to remove the alternator to make some access for it. But only that one bolt in the front upper had to be gotten from the top. The other 4 are all gotten from the bottom. And for the most part, they weren't too bad whatsoever. Okay, so I was having trouble finding torque specs for it. So I put it in there, and I went about 15.5 nanometers. But or if you want to put it in perspective here, you know, I really wanted to make sure it was torqued enough to hold it. But like I said, I couldn't find proper torque specs. So, you know, realistically, in inch-pounds, like 145 inch-pounds. They didn't strip, not at all, and it sealed right up. I also recommend, depending on what kind of gasket you buy for it, I just went ahead and used the right stuff. Black, did a very thin layer on the gasket. I mated the gasket up to the engine block first. It'll stick right there, line it up perfectly. Then I put a little bit around the water pump mating surface as well. Very thin, not thick, not a huge bead. I actually used my finger and just made a nice thin layer there. And carefully put it in there, got it rested up, throw 1 bolt, throw 2 bolts, and it holds it in place. Then you can finger tighten the rest of them in sequence. I did stagger them. I started by torquing that one that you got to get up top. Okay, I reached down there and I got that one first done to torque, and then I went back underneath and catty cornered it, and so on and so forth. All right. That's pretty much it, guys. This is a 2011 Nissan Juke, and they're not real fun to work on because they're just so tight in there. So hopefully this will help somebody, save them some time, effort, and you can do it. It is doable. If you don't have a lift, it does make it a little bit more challenging to get into there, but it is absolutely possible. So that's that, guys. It's not the most fun way to do it, but it is doable. Now, when I'm done here, I'm going to go ahead and weld plate back in over that hole and paint it and make sure that there's no structural integrity loss, no rust damage, no nothing. I'm going to perfectly seal it all back up like it never happened. But that's the fast way in, guys. All right, good luck. Like I say, I'm Dan from All Dimensions LLC in Johnson City. Now, God bless, guys, and keep on wrenching.